Hey guys, it's Delphine, and here we are, my last video of the month. I'm glad to say I did it. I did all 4 videos every week this month, and I learned some things along the way. So while I don't promise to keep a strict weekly schedule necessarily, I'll try to aim for a new video every couple of weeks or so, along with some more side channel videos as well. I've been having a lot of fun with those. In any case, I don't plan on disappearing for months again. I've found my love for YouTube once more, and I'm excited to make more videos. So I'm feeling really good after having achieved this YouTube goal, so that's what I wanted to discuss today, how to achieve your goals. And I'll be talking about this mostly in relation to learning Japanese, but honestly, this is something that you can do for any goal that you're learning, so no matter who you are, I hope that you can find some use in these tips. So here are my 5 steps to achieving your goals. Number 1, write things down. I've talked about this before, and you've probably heard this kind of thing a million times already, but I cannot recommend it enough. Take the time to just sit down and put your goals on paper, whether they're short-term or long-term. And even if you don't physically write it down, maybe discuss it with someone, just put it out into the world. You will be so much more likely to actually get stuff done if you do that, and you'll see things way more clearly. And especially when it comes to those more long-term goals, it's just good to reflect on what it is that you want to achieve in this life, why it's important to you, what you can do to accomplish it. So just start that conversation with yourself. But don't just do it in your head. Put it out there and write it down. This also applies not just when you're coming up with your goals, but also in tracking them. In an older video, I gave some specific examples. I'll leave a link for that here, and I'll probably talk about it more in the future. I'm sure I could make several videos on every single one of these steps, but I'm gonna try and stay a little bit more general for now. Make checklists for yourself, or maybe try journaling, or making video diaries, or get into the habit of talking to people about how you're doing on your goals. Whatever works for you. It helps keep you in check. It helps to keep things clear in your mind so you know what you need to accomplish, and this way you're constantly revisiting your goals and maybe even altering them if you need to. There's not really a wrong way to do it, so you have nothing to lose. Number 2. Baby steps. This is key in actually carrying out what it takes to reach your goal. So with the example of learning Japanese, that's a pretty lofty goal, learning a whole new language. It can be really intimidating, and even if you start out super motivated, you're starting out strong, it's so easy to get bogged down with just how much work you're gonna have to put into this, and a lot of people end up quitting. So the secret to overcoming this is to make your goal as easy as possible for yourself, and that is through baby steps. So come up with some tiny little tasks that you can do that's just ridiculously easy, almost too easy. So if I have this list of 2,000 vocab words in my Anki that I need to study, that's a lot. It's like, how am I ever gonna get through all that, right? But if you tell yourself, okay, I'll just study 10 new words a day, it's sounding a little bit more manageable, right? And then in 200 days, less than a year, you'll have developed your vocabulary a ton. And even if that sounds like too much, no worries. Do 5 vocab words a day, or even just 1 new vocab word per day, whatever you're comfortable with. And I know I won't always feel like you're making very much progress when you're doing so little, but trust me, just keep telling yourself that, it really does add up. And it'll keep you from burning out and quitting halfway through, so slow and steady wins the race, and with baby steps, you will accomplish great things. Number 3, keep it varied. So doing things in small steps is great. It helps keep your goals concrete and doable, but another hurdle in accomplishing your goals is monotony. Studying 5 new vocab words a day might not be that hard, but it gets a little repetitive, right? So what we want to do now is keep things fun and fresh so that it doesn't seem as much like a chore. Because then you'll be more likely to want to come back to it and to keep on working on it. And one thing that helps me is just trying a bunch of different things out. I have nothing against New Year's resolutions, but I think that the reason why they don't work out too well for a lot of people is that it's just this one time of the year where you're expected to think about all that you want to achieve, and that's just not often enough. I personally set new goals every single month, usually between 3 or 4 things that I really focus on. This can be from the Japanese learning goals to exercising goals. Learning to juggle was one of them for me, learning piano, keeping my apartment clean, learning new recipes, work-related goals, the list goes on. And there are plenty of things that I repeat. I mean, juggling is something that I focused on only for December, but Japanese learning goals I continue every single month. But even if I have that same general goal every month, such as learning Japanese, I still try to change things up in different ways. Maybe I'll put more focus on speaking practice one month and then reading practice another month. For one month, I could be more ambitious about learning my vocab cards and do 20 a day, but then the next month go back to 5 a day and then focus on something else. If it was an exercise goal, I could maybe focus more on swimming during the summer months, or if I know that I have a really busy month coming up and won't have time to go to the gym, make myself walk for 10 minutes a day and then do DDR once a week. You get the idea. So keep it varied, it'll keep things much more exciting and fun, and you'll figure out much faster which methods work for you and what you need to change. Number 4. Be creative. So this is a little bit harder to discuss in general terms. I realize it's a bit vague. Right here is where you can transform your goal from being this really tough, frustrating, tedious thing into something that can be really fun and that you can enjoy. Accomplishing anything that's worthwhile is hard work. There's just no way around that. But to quote the lovely Mary Poppins, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Use your creativity to find the fun in the work or create your own elements of fun, and then you'll see. While accomplishing your goal is great, you'll be able to make that process of getting there that much more enjoyable and rewarding. In that video I made about writing things down, I talked about how for a college class, I used markers to draw out these progress bars and then fill them in whenever I completed classwork or took tests, and basically made it as if my class was a video game. I did the same thing with exercising. I had this running program that I did, and I made myself a little chart for it, and I was able to complete the program even though I had tried several times in the past and failed. So that's just one way to be creative in the way that you plan and track your goals. Something else you could do is to find ways to fit your study time, your exercise time, or whatever into different areas of your life. On my way to work, instead of listening to the radio, I listen to Japanese radio shows or podcasts. Boom, 30 minutes to an hour every day of listening practice that I can easily get. This might sound a little bit weird, but something else that I do is talk to myself in Japanese, just when I'm getting dressed or cooking. I chat about things like what my plans are for the day, and I say it out loud while doing other stuff, and that's just some extra speaking practice. Maybe I'll watch a Japanese variety show while doing some floor exercises, and I'm accomplishing 2 goals at once. Again, it's almost kind of like a game, trying to find how to be more efficient and finding the time to work on my goals. There's so many more examples here, and I'll probably talk more about it in the future, but I hope you get the message. Use your imagination and try to find ways to make the process of accomplishing your goals fun, and then you will want to do the work. Finally, number 5. Celebrate. This is so important. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and maybe you've been doing a great job with your goals. Just make sure to take some time every once in a while to look back at where you've come from, how far you've gone, where it's gotten you, and just really recognize your efforts. Celebrate the little things and appreciate what you're able to do and reward yourself. It'll do so much for your motivation. Maybe actually give yourself a tangible thing to work towards, like a physical reward, or just have a little conversation with yourself at the end of each month and look at the progress you've made. The main reason why I decided to learn to juggle, because that's a pretty useless skill, at least for me, I don't plan on doing anything with it, was more of a mental exercise. Learning to juggle was a really difficult, frustrating, time-consuming process that I had myself work on every day, but I felt like I would never be able to do it. First it was hard, and then I got a little bit better, and then fell into a rut again for a really long time, but I finally got to that point where I was able to say, whoa, I can juggle. This used to be so incredibly difficult for me, and I remember it so well because it was only like a month ago, and look what I can do now. It's a small and kind of meaningless goal in and of itself, but it's just one of those little things that help remind me that I can do anything that I set my mind to, which sounds cliche and maybe really obvious, but it's one thing to tell yourself that and sort of know it in your head, and it's another to actually live it out and really feel that it's true. So all of that juggling tangent just to say, recognize your successes and celebrate them, and it'll really do a lot in keeping you motivated. All right, so those are my 5 steps to accomplishing your goals. Sorry, I know that this is a long video, but it's something that I'm just very passionate about and that I really believe in. Like I said, I'll be revisiting some of these things and give you some more concrete tips, and I'll also be discussing my monthly goals and how I accomplish them over on my vlog channel. So I hope this helps you in some way. Try applying some of these tips to your New Year's resolutions and see where it takes you. Okay, so I'm gonna go celebrate my YouTube goal of the month with a cup of hot chocolate now. Good luck on your goals and tell me what you're trying to accomplish. I'd love to hear it and maybe give you some advice if you need it. I'll see you guys soon with another Japanese lesson. Thank you guys so much for watching and for all of the support, and take care. A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Okay, I'm not putting that in there.